Hey everybody, Dylan here, and it's a better late than never episode of Monday Night Raw from like 2 weeks ago, specifically March 18th, 2024. Ready? Ready. Off the bat, they show a shot of the stadium for WrestleMania this year. At the time was 19 days away. Now it's like 4 days away. It's a Saturday. I can't count. They then show the PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina, where they are located for tonight's show, which, by the way, I'm going to say it multiple times, but this is a hot crowd tonight. I think this started the, 3 or 4 consecutive Raws that were just sold-out shows. And that's kind of awesome just hearing that they continuously have sold-out shows. It showed earlier today where Cody came into the building with Pharaoh, and Pharaoh has a dog bandana that says Rock is a cat on it. And you gotta be careful saying stuff like that, Pete. You don't want to end up like your owner. After that, we saw DIY arriving earlier today, and the Creed brothers also arriving. After they show everybody coming in, they get down to the action for the night, and Jey Uso comes out, which he comes out to a crazy-ass pop. The crowd's going hot the whole time they do the yeet, yeet, the hand thing. They're going like, hey, 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 in the background to it, and they're just vibing, having a good night tonight, and I appreciate that watching. It makes me have a better night watching that. They mention on commentary that this is the third brother versus brother match at WrestleMania, specifically mentioning by name Brett versus Owen and Matt versus Jeff. I know this is a common Triple H era thing, but it's so crazy actually hearing other wrestlers in other companies mentioned by name. Jey cuts a promo welcoming everybody to Monday Night Raw. Yeet. He's saying that he knows his brothers are in the building. Yeet. And that he's calling them out right now off the bat. Yeet. As he's waiting for them to come out, they eventually come out, and they come through the crowd. They got their hoodies on, and then they start to reveal who they are. Jimmy and Jey have an intense stare down during this time. Jimmy grabbed a microphone, and they have a stare down in the ring. And it's a perfect one of those for when they do the video package edits. There's a sign that's in the crowd that symmetrically right between them and the shot that says "Call Rikishi." I love that. That made me pop. Jey says they normally fight, but this one feels different to him, and that he misses his brother. He never gets to see his brother anymore, and he just wants him to come back. He's tried to say something else, but Jimmy cuts him off, and basically at the beginning of the statement, saying that he protected him. It was Jey's idea to leave the bloodline, but Jimmy left with him to protect him. So what happens? Jey goes on and becomes top merch seller, becomes the main event of Raw, becomes tag team champions without Jimmy. And not only does he do it without Jimmy, but he does it with Cody Rhodes. He thinks that his brother has forgotten everything he's done is because of Jimmy. During this, a solo suck chant starts, which kills some momentum, but hey, that's okay. We're ignoring it because this is a good feud. Jey responds back by saying this is the biggest moment of his career. It's going to be at Mania when he beats the yeet out of his brother's ass. And then he gives him, this work punch. And he gets the advantage until Solo distracts him on the apron, and Jimmy gives him a super kick. Then Solo pins him down, and they pull him back, and Jimmy starts talking smack in his face until Cody comes out, in suit and all. He ducks a punch, he takes Jimmy out on the ramp, goes into the ring, ducks a punch, and hits a Cody cutter in suit, by the way. Freaking great segment. It ends with Cody and Jey standing tall. I'm going to give this a 4-star segment easily. Commentary then talks about how the main event of this Raw will be a last women's standing match between Nia and Becky. They do a package for it showing, I think, this is the first ever one, but they weren't targeting that. They were just kind of showing a cool little package. It had some nice text on it. I might steal that text, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, after that, they go to the ring for DIY versus the Creed brothers, and it's the first qualifier for the WrestleMania Tag Team Ladder match. In the middle of that match, they come back from ad break. Adam Pearce is running down Nick Aldis on the phone, and then he hangs up when he sees Heyman. He comes in a shot, and he apologizes for their actions earlier. Solo and Jimmy is saying that the final boss or Roman didn't approve of that, and that Jimmy and Solo are gone. He says that he's going to handle business, and then he's gone also. Anyway, after that, the match ends about 20 minutes later. It was a brutal match, but Ciampa ends up reversing a Brutus bomb into a roll up. Like, he ducks the bomb part and then rolls up, who's the other one? Julius, I think? He rolls him up, and then after them going back and forth a couple times, Johnny Gargano super kicks Julius. Yeah, I was right. For Ciampa to roll him up for the win. DIY advance to be the first team, and this is their first WrestleMania. So I'm going to give that match a 4-star. Great way to start off the show so far. We're killing it. I love this. Then we go backstage where the Judgment Day's chilling, doing their business, and Andrade is talking to Dom. Dom says that he likes Andrade's style, but not just anybody can join the Judgment Day, which I guess is the story that Andrade's trying to join the Judgment Day. I don't know. I haven't kept up. I guess I'll be filled in eventually. They heard that he has a match next week, so they'll all be watching his match, which that is a match that he was supposed to have against Ivar, but it got reshuffled to where he was against Vinci instead. Anyway, Andrade says that's fine. He's about to leave, and as he leaves, Priest comes in a shot at the same time, and they kind of just acknowledge each other, and then Andrade walks away. Priest says that he was out there watching who won the match, and it's DIY, but no biggie, that they can handle him. But JD let down the Judgment Day by losing last week. JD's trying to make up excuse to himself until Rhea says that Priest is right. Ricochet made him look like a fool. And Dom's like in the background being smirky about it, like, hey. And then she says that's why Dom is going to make sure that things are right tonight. And when she says that, he kind of gives like a, oh shit, look. That, like I said, that shocks Dom, but he agrees to it. And if you watch next week's Raw review, you know how that match goes. Anyway, him and JD go to make the match official, and as they go to commercial break, they go to make it official. Sorry, I didn't understand my own note. Anyway, 3.5 stars. How the mighty have temporarily, hopefully, fallen. I'll be honest, the only thing about Judgment Day to watch right now is Rhea. The tag team part's interesting. Dom is Dom. JD is so boring. I'm sorry. I don't find any interest in him. After they come back from the ad break, they show the newest inductee into the Hall of Fame, Thunderbolt Patterson. Yeah. I don't really know anything about Thunderbolt Patterson. That was kind of before my time of wrestling. I haven't gone that far back into the archive yet. Give it time, I probably will. But apparently he inspired the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, so it kind of makes sense for him to go in this year. I won't spoil the rest of the list, considering I eventually have to go back the following weeks. But, we'll see if I mention them with the weeks coming up. After this, Candice and Indy are having a tag team match against Caden and Katana. Caden Carter, Katana Chance. Yeah. I said that right. Where basically, I think Caden picks up a work injury in the ring, and Candice ended up targeting it for them to win due to referee stoppage. 3 stars due to the new character switch. Sorry, 3.5 stars due to the new character switch. But ultimately, it's the same match as it's always been. It ends with her and Indy kind of not being on the right page due to Indy wanting to win the right way and not cheating. And Candice like, who cares? We won. After that, commentary switches is talking about what's happening on SmackDown with The Rock and how they had The Rock concert. If you want to know what I thought of that episode, I got a review up. They show a promo of what happened, and then we see Cody walk into the ring after the break. Come back from that, and they talk about the Bray Wyatt documentary, which has dropped as of this recording. By the way, I need that poster that they have for the actual episode. I need that to be a real poster. I will buy the shit out of that. You kidding me? I know they put it on a t-shirt. But anyway, I think I teased on the previous episode that maybe I'd do a review for it. But I think after watching it, my final call is this. As a fan of Bray Wyatt, you need to watch it. If he's somebody that was your role model, you definitely need to watch it. Just know about his life and kind of sort of details that maybe we didn't already know about the characters. And as a wrestling fan, you need to watch it because of the ending. I will not spoil it on all of Reddit and Twitter or X, whatever it's called. but I will say you should watch it. After all that, we see the Fireflies. It makes me a little sad because I thought I'd never see them again, but who knows. Cody comes out and he talks about his match against Roman Reigns. He talks about how on SmackDown him and Roman are going to have a conversation, but the problem is The Rock. He belittles him for not being there tonight, and then he referred to... Then he referred to himself, The Rock. And then he talks about how on Instagram The Rock referred to himself as a heel. He calls it insider terms and lists off some good heels of the past, according to him. He says that he doesn't think The Rock is a heel. He thinks that he's an asshole. He told him and his team not to get upset when he said that, and he gets why The Rock made fun of him for crying. But haven't you cried behind the scenes? Quote, haven't you cried behind the scenes this whole time to get to the board? He runs that down The Rock for crying to the board and that it was a great plan until his plan backfired. He runs The Rock down personally and calls him a whiny bitch, and the locker room doesn't need him. So much for PG. I love this. He talks about how he took a shot at Cody's mom, so now he'll go after The Rock's mom. Except he respects The Rock's mom, which is why The Rock should respect his and fear his mom for what she will do to him, because she's not afraid of him. He then hypothetically asks if it'll be a fair fight. He doesn't know, but he does know one thing, that he will bring the fight. He then asks The Rock if he'll have Big Dwayne energy or LDS, Little Dick Syndrome. There goes that PG rating. He then says that he doesn't think he will be the final boss at Mania. He'll just be Roman's side chick. That's when Paul Heyman comes out to cut him off. He does his normal, ladies and gentlemen shtick. And then he tells Cody that he's going to give him an apology for coming out with New York's Finest last week. And he apologizes to him for that because it was a stupid idea on his part, not because he's sorry that he came out with him. After that, Cody cuts him off saying that he doesn't care about the apology. He doesn't need that. But since Heyman's going to be stepping into the ring, because Heyman's walking to the ring, he gives him permission to step in. Heyman says, thank you, I think, in that tone. But he says he's fine right where he was. He has a message from Roman Reigns. He said, while you can't trust the word trust the word that Paul Heyman says, Roman Reigns is a man of his word. He says that with the exception of him, nobody from the bloodline will be there to interfere on that face-to-face on SmackDown. Cody then confirms what he just said and then agrees to be there on SmackDown. Heyman says that he forgot to add one other thing. If Roman shows up alone, then Cody has to too. Cody agrees to the terms, they shake hands, and that's how the segment ends. 3.5 stars. It's a beautiful segment. We then go backstage where Nia Jax cuts a promo saying that Becky has never defeated her and she will break her face again and take her place against Rhea and wins the title. 3 stars. Then we have Ricochet versus Dom. It cuts through a Snickers ad break during that time of LA Knight talking about Hogan versus Rock at Mania. And then they go backstage to where Jey and Cody are talking, where Jey questions him about going alone on SmackDown. But Cody says he's already given his word, and Jay's like, all right. So, I'm not going to rate that. Then after that, they show Pat McAfee almost falling last week, and then they go back to the match. Ricochet wins basically in quick work, and almost got jumped by the Judgment Day, but Ricochet does some cool rolls to get the advantage. Almost got jumped by JD. I never specified that. But he does some quick rolls to get past him and everybody, and he's on the ramp and he has the numbers on them. 3.5 stars. Why not? It gives Ricochet a character. We then see Sami Zayn walking backstage, and he's trying to talk to Gable, telling him that last week was an honor, and he's trying to thank him for the match. And Gable keeps on brushing him off, just like, yeah, whatever. Sami keeps on pushing him until Gable says that match meant more to him than it does to Sami. Sami then goes off on him for not understanding how much it meant to him, and he keeps on going until Gable eventually tells him that he can't beat Gunter. And then we go to an ad on that note. 3.5 stars. I love drama. We come back to the arena, and Pierce is in the ring for an IC title match contract signing. Sami comes out first, and then Das Ring General comes out, and he looks like money. Holy shit. Like, the way he's mastered his entrance by now, and that title being on him, God, looks so good. Pierce tries to officially kick it off, but Gunter runs down Sami off the bat for looking so generic and like everybody else in the crowd when he's against the biggest challenge in his life, and he's not showing respect to the title match they're having. Sami reminds us all of the adversaries he's gone through in his career, and he says that he will end Gunter's reign, basically. Oh yeah, you let him know, Pumpkin. Gunter then says that he should listen to Gable and everybody in here because nobody believes that he can defeat Gunter. He wants Sami to keep on believing or dreaming, whatever, because at WrestleMania his dreams will meet reality. He signs the contract and then goes to walk off, but Sami cuts him off and says that he will take him down at Mania, and then he leaves first. 3.5 stars. The camera follows him in a one-shot after that, which was so cool. Sorry, my cat's walking near my keyboard. I'm making sure she didn't cut me off. But yeah, it's just a one-shot that follows Sami backstage after that. And Awesome Truth talking to DIY about how they have to beat their opponents, and then their opponents come at a shot, which are... they said the name of the tag team. I just didn't pay attention, but Sharon and Shanky, is that still... I don't know. You know who I'm talking about, though. The Gender's Henchmen. There we go. That's going to be their name on here. When they come into shot, and Truth plays it off like he doesn't know who his opponent is. He said, I feel sorry. Sorry, my cat stepped on my keyboard mid-sentence. He says, I feel sorry for whoever has to go against them tonight. And that's how that ends. You have a wah, wah. Anyway, they have their match, and it ends with Truth accidentally picking up a win for his team. So the match was a good comedy match. I'll give it like 3.5 stars. It was pretty funny. After that, Drew is walking backstage, and then after the ad, they plug... Hold on, my notes are weird, so just roll with it. After this, Drew is walking backstage. Then after the ad, they plug for Mania Week. Oh, the ad's for Mania Week, okay. Sami looks for Gable and then asks why he thinks that he can't win. Gable explains to him how Gunter is different mentally and that Sami is somebody who gets challenged mentally a lot in the ring, and he will let Gunter get in his head, basically. It's a 4-star promo. I think Gable has the it factor and should be the one who's beating the streak, honestly. After that, they plug a Punk promo where he says that he'll be at Mania whether he's invited or not. And then next week they plug where they're in Chicago, which if you watch my review, you know how that episode goes, or if you've just watched Raw already. Anyways, Drew comes out after that, and even his pyro gets interrupted by Seth Rollins' pyro, which is a crazy visual, by the way. I like that visual. So Seth comes down to the ring, and when he's coming down to the ring, he ignores Drew on the ramp, and then Drew slowly gets into the ring, kind of pissed off. Seth does his normal thing, and then sarcastically apologizes to Drew and brushes off Drew as a joke. Drew isn't having any of it, and says after Mania the spotlight's Drew's. And Seth calls out Drew for a lot of the mistakes he's made, but that one thing is true in what he said. He then parodies an AA pledge, and he sticks up his right hand and says that he is a spotlight junkie. That gets a chant, and then Drew says that everything's a joke to him, isn't it? He doesn't even care at this point what Seth does. He actually had a good counter to the what's, which was something along the lines of like... I forgot what it was, but it was a good counter for what to the crowd going what. And he's doing great at just getting heat on himself during that time. Seth tells him to shut up and admits that he's addicted to all this, and almost word for word quotes Eddie Guerrero about the This Is His Fix promo. I called that and I said, no, wait just a second. He then tells him how Mania Night 1's going down, where he defeats the side chick and Roman Reigns, and then on night 2 he's beating Drew. Drew says that's what he wants to hear from him, and that he had him all the way up until he said that his pride was coming from beating The Rock on night 1. Why can't it just be enough to beat Drew? He says that no matter how he has to do it, he will drag Seth down, whether it's off a gurney or however he needs to do it, and he will win. Seth then calls him a spotlight junkie about how much he needed validation due to not getting that during, when he won the title. He tells him that he always fumbles when the lights are shined on him, and that's the difference between them, which he will find out on Mania. The promo is way better than whatever I just mumbled through there. I apologize. I will say 4 stars easily. We then go backstage where Becky's cutting a promo on why she's doing this so close to her Mania match, and she said because this is all she knows. 3.5 stars. It was a great promo. Then we have New Day versus Alpha Academy for their qualifying spot, which New Day ends up winning after the elbow drop finish from Xavier Woods to advance. I'll give that 3.5 star match. We then go backstage where Becky's interrupted by Liv. Liv says that she doesn't have to worry about her tonight, just save some of Nia for her. And they plug up the main event coming up after this ad break. After they come back from that ad break, Cody and Seth end up walking into each other, and Seth asks about Friday, and Cody confirms it's a one-on-one. Again, I didn't rank that. It's just a 5-second backstage segment, but it's important to the story. They then give a rundown of what to expect throughout the weeks coming up, and then we get the main event of Becky versus Nia in a last woman standing match. By the way, still that graphic for a thumbnail that they use apparently. There's some cool spots. I didn't write them all down, but there's one where Nia puts Becky through a table and then immediately pulls her. It breaks the count and gives her an annihilator. Nia takes a manhandle slam through a table outside, which kind of looks cool if you were making an edit for a Raw 2024 entrance. I would use that shot. Then Becky finally gives her a leg drop through the announce table after that. It's kind of one of those things. Nia stumbled and got up and put her head on the announce table, and then Becky gave her a leg drop to her back. And that's how she won. At the end of the match, Rhea comes out and gets her face, and they have a stare down to end the show. Despite how fast I went through that match, it was easily a 4, if not 4.5 star match. I would recommend watching that, and they set the bar pretty high for a last woman standing match. Overall, I would rank this show... That's the interesting thing. What would I rank this show? You know what? Let's say 4 star. It was another killer show, and these rankings don't even matter. Alright, if you're here for the review, the episode's over with. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to keep up with this, I should have something out tomorrow, but if I don't, I will for sure have something out Friday if you want to tune in. Either one of those days would be appreciated. Thank you for watching. If you're a subscriber, returning to the channel, hi, I got 3 episodes I need to make up for. Well, now 2, considering I've done this. So the April 1st, 2024 review for Raw will be uploaded sometime between now and Friday. And then Friday, I'm going to do a double episode with, let's see, what SmackDown was it? March 29th SmackDown and last Friday's SmackDown. So if you want to see that, just tune in and stick around for this little journey we call life. Alright, anyway, bye!